Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to the Banner Saga. Now, it's been a little while, I do apologize for that. Got caught up in some other things, the release of Dark Souls 3 being a prime example of one of them. But as we return, we've got kind of the mystery of who the new ships are that have arrived at the docks. I think we recognize the banners of one, but not the other. Also, just kind of checking out day 0, we have supplies. I don't think we can really do anything with these yet. No, I was wondering if any of this led to like a leveling menu or something, but it does not appear so. So I tell you what, by the way, I dig how like the city does at least feel a little alive. There's like stuff going on down here. That's kind of cool. Let's head over to the docks and find out who we're going to be greeting. All right. So our character Ubin, I believe Wagner is the one ship that we recognized, but we didn't recognize the others that were with him. Something of that sort. It has been a few days since I last played, so hopefully my memory will be jogged fairly quickly here. Okay. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grafheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Well, I mean, that's not a nice thing to say to people. Comes with being old, and if there is Wagner, there must be Hokan. Must there. Alright. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid, old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorunder demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grafheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arborang, in fact. Man, there's a lot of, like, names of places and a lot of information dump here. Which I'm not a super huge fan of in games, to be perfectly honest. But hopefully we don't need to know these places, or they're explained to us in a way that sticks, for lack of a better term, before too long. Yeah, and glad for it. Okay, motions to the other ships in the bay. Sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hokan has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hokan. Then you're going to Grafheim. I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strahd. I was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Mogr? Hakon, have him find a place to put up his warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few. Others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogr. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grafheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Okay. The weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke of so highly. Okay. So we get our first decision to make. I'm assuming it's talk to him, or go sleep. And presumably the go sleep would progress. I don't know if we'll be able to do both of these actions. Well, I guess we are talking to the young prince. I thought it might highlight it first. I suppose we were wrong. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, you're with Wagner. I don't remember you. Does he look like the type that had been pulling the legs from spiders as a child? I suppose. He looks right at you. Oh, that's creepy. I like the little small details. It would be easy to have just made this a static image. It's nice that we get at least a little bit of motion here. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grafheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? What do we want here? Habit of recording history. I hope to learn more about you. I just wanted to introduce myself. Let's maybe feed his vanity a little bit here. I hope to learn more about you. Oh, well, you seem to know who I am. Do you have what you need? So I do. I won't keep you. You leave wordlessly. Seems clear that Luden was in no mood to talk. Or he's a miserable cur. Definitely one of the two. Okay, and I do get the option of doing the other now. Okay, well that's good. I was a little worried when I clicked on that we had made a choice, but it does not appear to be the case. So before I do that, let me, for the sake of myself, maybe more than anything else, let me recap here. Basically, the heirs to both the Min and the Giants' kingdom just arrived in the city, and they're coming from the capital of the humans, where they've been, you know, I don't know if they've really been negotiating an alliance, but it's sort of, this is the way that alliances are forged. And they've now arrived here, the King of Min's envoy being the prince. He's going to be visiting the capital of the Giants, and they've sort of traded people and cultures and all of that good stuff, which makes sense. And then we're going to be leaving from here, just sort of a port city, and heading to the capital. We've been asked to escort along with them, as we're old friends with the Giants that have just arrived. And that's pretty much where we are at this point. Let's go maybe find out a little bit more about that past relationship. Scrivener. You find, and it's I think I've called him Håkon a couple of times, but it's Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon, and like wine skin, basically. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yaks fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. Nice. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. Might have a point, just another reason to get back to Grafheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, and step back into the cool air outside. Alright, and now that we're a little lit up, I guess all there is left to do is head back to the Great Hall and find ourselves somewhere to sleep for the night. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Okay. I do note, so the day has gone up. We're now on day 1, and our supplies have gone down. They're now at 99. We take 20 additional renown for your guards taking the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here, while later Luden and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Interesting, it didn't seem like Luden was exactly partying it up or heading for a late night. Moger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart, and the only option we get is, we're ready. You follow Moger, and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well, as a whole, you think. Okay, and we're getting onto the road then. Interesting. Okay, leaving the city of Strand, we've got our marching group here drawn by oxen, I would imagine, and the day counter sort of going on. Oh, that wasn't where we were headed. Okay. Ah, here we go. To Vetterfell? Vetterfell. We'll go with Vetterfell. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead cask, from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout camp. Drink a little, drink a lot. Toast to Wagner. I'm never one to say no to a free mead cask. We'll drink a lot. It's not often you get the chance to relax on the road. It's very true. The odds of something happening to the treasure card is low, especially in this company, and so you take advantage. Alright, and that does it for... Oh, interesting. And so this is our camp that we've made here. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. And what does he want this early? Ah, it's Luden. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure? Pleasure's not a word, Red. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grafheim? We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. And it doesn't look as though our heavy night of mead consumption had any negative impacts, at least not so far, which is good to see. None of the, like, oh, you chose to not have restraint, therefore, you know, something got stolen in the night. None of that happened, which is nice. Alright, so this is the world map. Drag the map around to look. Drag the map around to look. Drag the map to look around. A portrait icon shows you where the caravan is in the world. You could also tap on any location to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, tap X at the bottom of the screen. Okay, X to exit. We are here. We just left here. Okay, so that's about as far as we can go into the vast. The waters to the west were named not for their reach, but for their depth. Longships lost even somewhat close to the shore are best considered gone to the depths forever. Okay, so our Viking ships aren't exactly made for the deep seas or oceans of the world, instead kind of needing to keep to the coast. So, wow, and I love, like, man, we could sit here learning about all of the things for the Evers. Like, everything we can click on. That is so cool. We are probably not going to be able to do that, but let's just kind of get our bearings here. From what I can tell, we came into Strand which is like a port city right here. And then we've just been making our march inland to here, and we're heading for Gofheim, or Grofheim, which is up here in between this mountain pass, the two spears. An unusual gap in the Varl's March Mountains looks like two great spears at a gate. For decades it became a bloody corridor between the Varl forces and the Dredge to the north, until the second Varl king, Arnfinnr, endeavored to build a sprawling fortress here, which would eventually become Grofheim, the Varl capital. Okay. So that is right there. So it looks like we're going to be taking a path up here, probably to Schlid, and then over. And it looks like from Schlid, nothing else until we would reach the capital. The last home of the Varl and seat of their power, founded by Arnfinnr, the second Varl king. The second Varl king. Though the Varl have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim their capital. The deeds of Varl are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they're said to become part of the Varl's March itself. I find it interesting that he's only the second king. Now, of course, the Varl seem to live for quite some time, and so that might be centuries of a kingdom, but at the same time, only being the second means like that his father, perhaps, or his predecessor at least, was the one who brought the Varl together under a single banner, and prior to that, what were they? Was there just no civilization for them at all? Huh. Or it could be that they're immortal, and you being godlike, maybe they don't have such constraints. I did also notice, so I guess we could have theoretically taken the Wandering Road as an alternative. It looks like it's slightly farther, and there's like nothing along this path. At the end of the First Great War, the Varl had more to contend with than mankind to the south. Above the Bradabrek Peaks, the land crawled with furious, war-minded Dredge. First Varl king, Einar, led the entire Varl race across the snowy fields of the Wandering Road, sweeping away Dredge as they went, before forming the first Varl kingdom at Einartoft. Einartoft. The home of the first Varl king, Einar Toft, who carved his empire into the crook of the Bradabrek and Wormscale Mountains. The Varl fortress, hewn into the rock itself, eclipsed all but the greater accomplishments in the north. Vetterfell. Named Bad Weather, the gales that blow in from the bay and around the mountain peaks keep Vetterfell in a generally unpleasant state. What really cemented the name was the kind of person who would live there. Men cast out from Strand for one reason or another, with nowhere else to go. Okay, and it looks like that's going to be our next destination. Oh my! Yeah, the map is much farther to the south than I had originally anticipated. It also goes pretty far north. Wow. Now, are we going to be able to, like, wander around on all this? Or, like, anywhere there's a road? Is that somewhere we potentially get to go? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Let's go ahead and close the map. We've now shown the distance to the capital. We head north, then east, past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skirmestead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmestead. A half-sunken city, crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Luden exhales through the nose. A poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off, too. Luden's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vetterfell if we're lucky. Camp. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Tap leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to get back to the road. Okay, training, rest, hero's tent, leave, and it looks like for right now at least we are predestined to head to the hero's tent. Okay, so right now this is our party, all characters that we have already met. Click on a unit to view stats, promote ranks, and learn about abilities. Alright, so we've got Gunnulf, Hakon, Mogr, and Luden as our 4 party members. 3 Varl and a human. Let's check out Mogr. We've seen very little about him. He is a rank 1 shield master. You can click on an ability to learn about its abilities. Bring the Pain. Strikes an adjacent enemy for armor damage before hunkering down and boosting his passive ability. Return the favor. Turn even more armor damage for 1 turn. By using Bring the Pain, the Shield Master can create a forward charge that punishes enemies for ganging up against him. Normal break attack and +1. Break attack +1 and +2 to return the favor. Okay. Fair enough. Character who attacks a shield banger loses 1 point of armor for each strike he makes. Turn the favor triggers every time the shield banger takes damage from an adjacent enemy, which can make it devastating to hit him with attacks that strike multiple times. Okay, so I can only find out more, like these abilities don't tell me anything when I look at strength or willpowers or any of that stuff. Okay. Mogr's an old hand in Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding Wagner's personal army of Varl warriors, as highly respected amongst them. No kills. Okay. And we can just cycle. Gunnulf is ready for promotion, of course. When Yuban became the Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help transport gold collected across Ron, I think. That's a very stylized H, maybe? Gunnulf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. I got 5 kills in a previous battle, which was quite nice, and he is now available to promote. Had quite a good time with Tempest in some previous fights. Also has heavy impact. Okay. Anybody hit by it takes 1. Oh, okay. Those standing adjacent to the target take 1 damage from the shockwave. Hitting a large target like a Varl or a Dredge takes up 4 tiles, could potentially cause an impact across many more victims than hitting a single square target, such as a human. All right, let's see what the promotion looks like. The greatest warriors on the battlefield are those who live past their first battle to start a journey down the path of legend. Build higher stats, increase your item rank. Continue. I am sure. We've got 37 renown. Okay, good, good. We don't get to... Oh, okay, there we go. It gives us points available, and then we're able to level this stuff up. I wish we got... I don't know if it's just me, but oh, there we go. I was about to say, I want a tooltip for what everything does. Armor, strength, willpower, exertion, break. Stats. Max stats. Okay. Kills, plus and minus. Lore, check. So with the Warhawk, I really feel like strength makes the most sense. And that we would want to continue to level it up. I noticed that it's out of 18. I don't know why. And we could promote him a second time for 10. We will confirm that as well. And with 2 points available, how do we... Does it just make these better? Not entirely sure. Okay. Then that maxes out strength. Interesting. Haven't been seeing a huge usage out of the other stuff. Maybe the break, which is just sort of making, I would say, strength even better. Are these like maximum numbers that we can have, and like we can never exceed these, or are these going to go up with each level as well? I'm not entirely sure. Luden, Khan, Ogre. Okay, definitely an H then. Across Hran, which is a fun word to say. Luden, Prince of Men, the first heir of a vast kingdom, unliked by peers and rivals, and on account of his highborn attitude. You question his intelligence, combat skills, or courage. Well, that's good. Neat Spearman. Embolden. Encourage his allies to fight harder. Granting 1 willpower to the Spearman and any adjacent allies. Okay. Well, that's going to do it then for the leveling tent, it would seem. And basically right now, our roster is our party. It doesn't look like we have any way of like recruiting additional heroes from that interface. Check out training next. Is this perhaps where those additional heroes might come from? No, it just allows us to do mock battles in here. The training tent. The training tent allows you to test your party against a team of clansmen of equal power. Training fights never injure your allies or grant renown, but they do let you test strategies in safety. The trainer will give you hints about playing effectively and has something to say about each ability. Come here to test out new characters as they join you. Tap in training to stop the battle at any time. Okay. I am probably not going to go through a training fight right now. Okay. Just because. It's cool that we can do that, though. Certainly as new people join, I could see that being fairly useful. To kind of, if they've got any abilities that are different than what we've seen before, or like that we would maybe want to test how the mechanics of them work. If the description didn't quite make sense, all of those things. But for right now, I don't think that's exactly necessary. And then all that leaves us with is the rest tent. Okay, and clicking on it just simply rests. Alright, I would say that's probably something we didn't need to do and just sort of wasted supplies. Interesting how our, I guess the, maybe the big party that we threw is what brought our supplies all the way down to 65. Okay, and then leaving just gets us back on the road.
Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
Okay. I didn't know if leave might have taken us to like a map screen or something, but it just got us moving. And we arrive and are greeted by a peasant, surely, by Hatterborg. There's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy has seen men up the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scaffings out here, maybe. Scaffings? Could they have a Varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around, get camp set up. Peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Luden? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and something else. Hakon takes off at a run. Ooh. Oh, lovely. It looks like Luden has gotten himself into a bit of trouble. Okay, and we're gonna have others coming in. But I don't think we really want to move towards this thing. Oh, geez. I guess we'll follow the tutorial for now, but yeah, it doesn't give us any other options. My natural thought is maybe I should bake a little space here. Now select the next waypoint. Often useful when you need to avoid certain tiles. Spearmen can attack diagonally and up to 2 tiles away. Click on the top right banner to compare your stats with the enemies. Now click the enemy to target. Armor blocks attacks on strength. For each enemy armor higher than your strength, there's a 10% chance the attack will be deflected. Okay, that's something that I was missing. I wasn't understanding like why characters with lower strength than us, lower strength than our armor could still hurt us. But it looks like it's just a 10% chance to deflect an attack after that point. Notice the chance to hit shown above the attack button. Attack this enemy's strength. We want to put any... Oh, we can't put any additional points into it. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's good. That was a, like, very satisfying clank. Deflected attacks do no damage. From here on out, you will fail catastrophically if you don't break armor. Damaging both strength and armor is equally important. Yeah, thanks. Oh, jeez. Well, that went super well. Well, thankfully our own Varl have shown up to hopefully even the odds a bit here. Alright. Sundering Impact. Let's give this a go. Not bad. We sundered a bit of armor along the way as well. Unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to get in position to do anything here. Yeah. Be in turn time. But we can certainly get the big guy surrounded, if nothing else. 4 or 2. Take a little armor off of him there. Yeah. And that's it. We just get Oh, there we go. Sundering Impact. Tremble. The Scourge uses his weapon to summon an ally to the battlefield. Okay. Like, I kind of, at least I think I like the idea of using Sunder to do both damage to his armor and his strength. Break damage to target, plus return the favor for 1 round. Check this out. And get a little bit damage back. Okay. Now... Oh, wow. Really? I guess maybe our own... Yeah, our own strength being damaged. That makes sense. Wow. Actually, we could really stand to kind of get you out of there, it would seem. Let's go for something like this. Good. Ugh, not so good. I don't see him coming all the way over here, though. Could get it up to 2. Still leave him with 1. I'll tell you what, let's not do that then. Say we're going to bring the pain again. And pull him out of the fight for a moment, at least. Turn Tempest attack. We'll just in turn back here with our 1 HP. Looks like he's got similar ideas. Oh boy. I'm imagining that is the Trimble. Summon an ally on the next turn. Yep. Okay. That makes perfect sense. Let's get in here and prevent that from happening, shall we? I'm just going to go with a simple attack. We can do plenty of damage. Oh no. And plenty of damage was done back to us. Oh boy. Well, that's too bad. That's way too bad. Just as we got the big guy taken out, our own big guy fell. And that was like our one unit that had been leveled up, which is not exactly making me feel happy thoughts for the future. Alright, so we'll be able to come in here and pillage. Oh, no. Attack. Attack, attack. Yeah. Not an awful lot of damage done on that one, but it's okay. Can't reach. Fine. In turn. Alright, and this should be the end of you, Dredgy Man. Victory! Your renown grows. Okay. Hakon gained a promotion, but we're about to find out how the mechanics handle fallen allies. Trying to get yourself killed, Luden. What are you doing? Yeah, I mean, Luden fell at the very beginning of combat, so maybe they just come back injured? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You've never seen a dredge before, boy. Kind of idiot. Break their armor first. Where did they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Wagner lies face down. The future Varl king lies motionless, aside from a spreading pool of blood. Oh, that was Wagner that fell. Okay. And Wagner is dead. Wonderful. I wonder then, is there no way for us to have prevented that? He did certainly seem to be the lowest on health. But we've had the heir to the Varl killed at our own command. Well, that's a little troubling. Okay. And now we're splitting off to what looks like a bit of a side story here. I tell you what, before this kicks off, we are going to go ahead and end this episode here. We'll pick up with those people and their new story. Whoa. For the next episode. I am sure that I would like to quit, as I don't want to get too wrapped up in another fight and turn this into you know, an hour-long video or anything. A lot of consequences certainly of that battle, though. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to subscribe. There's more videos on the channel every day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other videos. And I will catch you guys next time.